Could the Minister clarify what measures she has in place or under consideration to ensure that anyone who's laid off tomorrow without a wage coming into the household will have their rent covered?
As I just said, we are working on a form. It's a side of A4, and that will give the people, once it's filled in, very few checks, bank account, we will pay in advance. Probably sometimes, again, it might be too much. I'd rather people get too much and too quickly. Again, if it's somewhere we can pay the rent to the landlord, we will. And I don't know how much more I can say. I've got people working on this now. They've been working on it for the last 2 weeks since Corona hit Jersey.
Can the Minister at least outline whether the measures she has envisages in putting in place will cover those who have not been on the island for 5 years, for example?
We want to make sure that the people who have not been on the island for 5 years have a roof over their head and they have money. We haven't decided yet what support system they will be on. And that's as honest as I can be.
Very well. Deputy Doublé.
Thank you, sir. The Minister mentioned the recommendation that landlords not be chasing rent at this time. Is the intention that any rent that isn't paid during the crisis, would that be due at a later date, or is the Minister recommending that landlords write off rent for this period?
I didn't say they shouldn't chase the rent. I'm saying that if the rent isn't paid, we have powers, or there won't be evictions. People need to know if they've got some money to rent, they will pay the rent. And what we can't see at this time is tents popping up in the parks, people living homeless. That's pretty normal in some of the cities in the UK.
So rents that can't be paid now because of the crisis, will those rents be due at a later date, or will they be written off?
I have no idea what the economy, anything will look like in 6 weeks, 3 months' time. I really don't have that answer, but obviously people will want paying, and we're trying to keep people in work. There's so many schemes being brought together, and people will be needed, and they should pay their rent if they've got the money. I'm saying don't evict them.
Final question, Deputy Ward. Very much. Very well. We come now to question 4 that Deputy Pamplin will ask the Minister for Health and Social Services.